When we first drove into Maple Grove, I knew we were entering enemy territory, not because anyone said it outright, but because of the quiet stiffness in the air. The hedges were too neat, the welcome signs too scripted, the smiles were brief, polite, and waiting for us to leave. We didn't. My husband David and I weren't new to being the only black couple in the room. He's a corporate attorney. I'm a trauma surgeon. Between us, we've built a life grounded in hard work, sacrifice, and perseverance. We moved into Maple Grove not to blend in, but to live better for our kids, Simone and Caleb, and for the legacy we're creating. But of course, every gated community has its gatekeeper. Her name was Karen. She introduced herself the minute the moving truck backed into our driveway. I answered the door in joggers, a sweatshirt, and a silk scarf on my head, sweaty from unpacking. Karen didn't smile. Instead, she tilted her head and said, "Oh, good. Is your boss home?" It took a moment for me to realize what she meant. I smiled coolly. "I'm Dr. Nadine Ellis. This is my house." Her face twitched. "Oh, well, welcome. I'm Karen. I'm on the HOA board, lead the school fundraiser committee, and I manage the wellness program at the leisure center. I suppose you'll be joining?" "We're settling in, thanks. I'll let you know." That should have been the end of it, but Karen couldn't quite hide her disappointment. She had expected someone else, someone different. That evening, David chuckled over dinner. "She really said you must be the help?" I was almost impressed, didn't even flinch. She's not going to stop at that. He was right. Within the first week, we received 3 HOA notices. Trash cans not stored quickly enough, improper color choice on patio cushions, a minor infraction about hedge height. Our furniture hadn't even arrived yet, and Karen was documenting us like we were lab rats. Still, we kept to ourselves. Simone made the cheerleading squad at the elite private school down the road. Caleb, who was 12, tested into the advanced STEM track and was already making friends. We went to work, to church, to the gym, and back again. But the more we thrived, the more Karen seethed. And then came the tipping point. Karen's golden boy, Tyler, developed a sudden interest in our daughter. Simone, smart, poised, and strikingly beautiful, politely declined his attention. But he kept trying. Flowers, DMs, notes left in her locker. Simone handled it with grace. "He's not a bad guy," she said one night, "but it's awkward. I don't want drama." We underestimated how much drama Karen could make. The following week, Karen filed an anonymous complaint that our family had violated HOA rules by hosting a disruptive gathering. It was Caleb's birthday. A dozen kids supervised, inside the house, pizza, video games, home by 9 p.m. Her complaint included fabricated quotes from disturbed neighbors and claimed she had recordings. She didn't. We had home security footage. Our lawyer, David, submitted everything to the HOA. Karen went quiet. For a day. Then came the school visit. She showed up unannounced and spoke to Simone's cheer coach, claiming Simone was rude, domineering, and a bad influence. She used coded words, the kind that drip with venom but hide behind fake concern. Fortunately, the coach was a black woman who saw through the act. She pulled Simone aside and said, "You're not in trouble. Just watch your back." That night, I sat on the edge of my bed seething. She's trying to isolate Simone, discredit her, make this neighborhood unlivable for us. David nodded slowly. "It's time." We built a folder. Emails, voice memos, screenshots, HOA documents, video footage. I wasn't going to fight her with emotion. I was going to bury her in facts. Then Karen escalated again. We received a letter accusing us of violating the Community Visual Harmony Code because our garage door had unapproved fixtures. The fixture? A motion sensor light, the same model 3 other homes had. I called the HOA president, not Karen, a decent man named Frank who sounded exhausted. "I'm going to be honest," Frank said. "This is all coming from Karen. She's filed 7 formal complaints against your property in 4 months. And how many were valid? None." The final straw was a flyer. Distributed to every mailbox in the neighborhood, it read, "Newcomers should respect the traditions of this community. Disruption is not diversity." Unsigned. But we all knew who wrote it. That week at the Community Leisure Center, I confronted her. I found her in the spa area, sipping green juice like the villain she was. "You passed out hate mail?" I said calmly. She blinked. "Excuse me? You heard me." "I have no idea what you're implying, Nadine. If you're upset, maybe this neighborhood isn't a good fit for—" I held up a folder. Inside this file are every false complaint, every contradiction, every copy pasted paragraph you've submitted. I also have 3 character testimonies, school records disproving your accusations, and security footage proving our innocence. Plus, copies of that flyer, which, by the way, contains metadata from your home printer. She froze. I also happen to be very good friends with an investigative reporter who would love to dig into the racial bias in Maple Grove's leadership. Karen's face turned ghost white. I'm giving you a choice, I said. You can leave us alone, and I won't expose you. But one more whisper, one more passive-aggressive memo, one more attempt to sabotage my children, and I go public. She swallowed hard. Are you threatening me? No, I'm saving you. I walked away, and for a while, things got quiet. The notices stopped. The stares became fewer. Tyler eventually apologized to Simone, privately and respectfully, admitting he hadn't known how his mom was acting. Simone forgave him. That's who she is. But I didn't forget, because women like Karen never really stop. They retreat, they wait, they disguise their hate in new ways. Last week, she tried to get a motion passed that limited the number of non-local guests allowed at neighborhood events. David leaned over during the meeting and whispered, "She's trying to ban your sister." I smiled. Let her try. She lost the vote. Badly. Because what Karen didn't anticipate was that some of the neighbors were finally tired of her too. Tired of the hostility, the drama, the woman who made everything ugly in the name of keeping things nice. People change, even in gated communities. Maybe not Karen, but everyone else. They started seeing us, not as invaders, but as neighbors. We're still here. We barbecue on Sundays, we volunteer at the school, we walk our dog Winston through every inch of Maple Grove, and we smile because we know who we are, and we know exactly who we're not.